Are we back at it again with episode 2 of the Blue Chip Show? I'm here with my co-host Azib. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about the NBA Finals. Game 1 just happened last night for us. We watched it. To say the least, like that was terrible. Like Miami, like I don't know, like what are you doing? Like that was terrible. Like you didn't even give us a game to watch. What were your thoughts on the game?
Honestly, like just the outcome of it, seeing how that game went. I think this might be the worst finals in like in NBA history right now. Like the way it's going.
I was thinking about it, like in my lifetime, like I've been watching basketball, let's say since like 04 or 05. I can't remember being so uninterested in a finals matchup. Like I'm trying to think like the last time, because even when Miami versus OKC, that was interesting because KD and those guys were on the come up. So you wanted to see, could these young guns really get it done?
They were young killers. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Right now, Miami's young killer is like a rookie, and Dragic got hurt. Bam's not really a killer. Like he's a great player, but like you're not expecting him to kill you. Like, there's not that excitement factor for me when you're watching Bam, like the way you're watching KD and like Westbrook when they're young.
No, I agree, because when you're watching KD and Harden and Westbrook, maybe not Harden, but when you're watching KD and Westbrook when they're young, KD was like, this guy could be the best player in the league. Westbrook was like, this guy could be a top 5 player in the league.
Yeah, no, 100%.
No one's saying that about Tyler Hero right now. Maybe it could happen, but as of right now, you're not watching Tyler Hero thinking, oh, this is a potential top 10 player one time soon.
Now, for me, like I just don't get what wrong with Miami. It's like they started off that game hot. They're up with 13 at one point, and then boom, one Tyler Hero turnover, and I felt like the game just went away. Morris was hitting threes. Rondo hit a couple threes. If Danny Green is hitting threes,
you're done.
It's a wrap. That guy sucks right now. Like, offensively, he sucks. And if he's hitting threes, that just means like it's a wrap.
I'm guessing you're assuming they have no chance to win the series.
I hope they do. I don't want LeBron to win another.
Okay, but like realistically,
best case scenario for Miami would Dragic is out. Best case scenario is they extend it to 5.
This guy said 5. I thought you were gonna say like 6 or try to force a game 7. This guy said 5. I mean, with Dragic being out, if Bam's actually out for a long time, they're saying right now he's out for game 2. But if he's out the whole series, then they stand no chance. But Dragic, there's a path there where they could survive it, because Kendrick Nunn was the starter in the regular season. So what you would have to do is insert Tyler Hero into the starting lineup, and you need to somehow get Kendrick Nunn to give you at least 75% of what Tyler Hero was giving you off the bench. If it could do that, they might be able to survive that. Like,
I won't lie, playing Tyler Hero as a rookie starting point guard basically in his like that's pretty scary. Like going forward, as your best option.
You're the one that tells me he's built for this.
Okay, he is built for it, but he's still a rookie. But you need more from Duncan Robinson. Robinson against Boston, it felt like the beginning of every game he opened the scoring. Like I feel like he hit a 3 for the first position for Miami almost every single game, and like he always got that run going for them. Or just whenever like the other team would go on a run, like he would always just counter it. Like he was just 0 for 3. You can't just take 3 shots.
Yeah, he didn't score yesterday. Like,
no, like
you can't be doing that. If assuming Lakers do it, because I picked before the series, I'm kind of mad at myself because before the series I picked the Lakers in 5, but then like throughout the week I was thinking about, I was like, Miami plays really hard. Let me give them one more game. So then I switched the Lakers in 6, but now it's looking like a sweep. But assuming Lakers win the finals, who do you think will win Finals MVP? LeBron or AD?
Okay, now this is like where it gets interesting, because I think Anthony Davis right now is showing that he's for sure winning Finals MVP. If you watch throughout the playoffs, he's been the best player on that team. If you watch LeBron, he flirts with these triple doubles and he gets the triple doubles almost every other game. But you're seeing who the teams are scared of and who they can't stop.
What do you mean who the teams are scared of LeBron? That is why Anthony Davis is scoring. They're scared of LeBron. Throughout the whole playoff run, LeBron is averaging 27, 11, and 9. And he's playing good perimeter defense. Jamal Murray had it going. What did he do? He took the assignment and he strapped him. He ended the series. Game 5 came. What did he do? He dropped 38. He said, go home. We're not the Clippers. We're not playing with you guys like how Kawhi let you guys play and come back. LeBron doesn't do none of that.
So who's been holding the scoring low down for the Lakers?
He's averaging 3 more points than LeBron.
Crucial points. In the fourth quarter, he's been much better scoring. Second half, he's been much better scoring than LeBron.
Literally closed game 5.
On defense.
No, game 5 when he dropped 38. That was game 4 when he strapped Murray. He literally dropped 30. He told them, no comeback. You guys are going home. Go back to Denver.
Anthony Davis has been better than LeBron in these playoffs so far. And he
hasn't.
And they've said it. Like, they're basically flirting with the idea themselves that there's no jealousy. Because they know that he's coming for that finals and finals MVP. So they already know, they're preparing for it. LeBron knows it's coming. There's a reason why he got Anthony Davis, because he knows that this guy, like, he can carry the weight with me. And Anthony Davis, he wants that Finals MVP. He's going for it. He's getting it.
What I'll give you is definitely a toss-up. It's a toss-up, but I'm leaning 60-40 LeBron right now because he's doing more. LeBron right now, he's the best passer on the team. Surprisingly, he's the best rebounder on the team. Because how many times is Anthony Davis gonna show up to the bubble and come with five or less rebounds? He's 7 feet.
They're setting it up because he
gets
down the court.
I don't care. He is playing on the perimeter, so that is a reason why he's not getting as much rebound as he does. But it's unacceptable. You're 7 feet. What was it? Was it against Denver that he showed up and had 0 rebounds and a half?
Yeah.
Finished the game with 2. He's 7 feet.
Doesn't matter.
And when it comes in terms of
how
scoring,
many games have they lost in the playoffs? Is it a problem?
No, it's because LeBron is making up for it.
No, because he's making up for the scoring, so it's okay.
LeBron is averaging 27.
No, if you're watching, teams, they don't mind throwing bodies at LeBron because they still have some okay guys like Jeremy Grant, like on Denver, like he did okay. Like I'm not gonna give him props for holding LeBron to the stats.
He did do pretty good. You seen LeBron talk to him after the game?
He did. LeBron acknowledged him. Nobody's been able to hold Anthony Davis even a little bit. And that's been the biggest problem.
See, but he hasn't ran into a matchup yet that could even there's no team that had an answer for him, all the teams he played. The answer, right?
That's his problem?
What? No, that's not his problem. But what I was gonna say is if there was a player in the league that you said I'm gonna pick this guy to guard Anthony Davis head to head, it would be Bam.
And he's guarding, and they're playing like 2 centers a decent amount in this series purposely. Like they had Dwight Howard to start the game just because they don't want Bam on AD for that like long stretches, I guess. And they're just gonna play it off that way. And well, Bam, he had a couple fouls early. Like he had a few fouls in the first quarter. He got hurt. It just didn't work out. Like he wasn't even on Anthony Davis majority of the time.
I've been an advocate for Lakers. They shouldn't play Dwight or JaVale because they're the best when AD plays a 5. But what I'll give Dwight is he matches Bam's energy when he comes in the game.
100%.
So I'll give him that. He still shouldn't be playing that much, but I'll give him that. He matches Bam's energy. How about this championship? You think would the winner of this championship, whether it's Lakers or Miami, will you put an asterisk on this championship?
For me, it's like you're not putting an asterisk on the championship. You're just putting an asterisk on the bubble, and they're just being like the bubble isn't a regular NBA season or NBA playoffs. When in the world do you see a team come back from down 3-1 twice? Like that just doesn't happen.
That's not happening.
I don't think Clippers lose 2 games at home. Like that just doesn't happen.
But against Utah, I think. Even without the bubble now, they would have came out from 3-1 because they had a home court advantage. So they would have played Game 7 in Denver.
That would make sense. But then this is the one that like bothers me the most. The Raptors, this and Miami, the Raptors-Celtics series, the way team won every single game.
Yeah.
That's just weird. Like that's not normal.
It would have. I feel like that series, if it was played under regular circumstances, it would have went the same way but reversed. It's just been the home team would won every single series. Yeah, Raptors would probably eventually won a Game 7 in Toronto.
So that's a big difference. And then Miami, they won 2-0 against Bucks on the road. That means technically,
even like Indiana, they're the underdog. They've been on the road. Like technically, they've been on the road the whole playoffs.
And they've won both home games to start the series every single time. That is for sure not happening in my opinion in the regular season. Like I mean, not regular season, like a regular NBA playoffs. You're not going to Boston twice and winning both those games. You're not going to Milwaukee twice, winning both those games.
Maybe Milwaukee. I don't know. Boston, yeah.
Relax, but. Each of those series, you go 1-1 to start off. That's a whole different series, in my opinion. And I think that's what throws the bubble off. Like, that team most likely would have been in the NBA Finals if there wasn't a bubble.
Bro, especially for Miami and, like, for talking about the Miami Celtics series, Boston 100% had a better chance of winning a game in Miami than Miami had a chance of winning a game in Boston. 100%. Because everyone knows the playoff atmosphere in Boston. A playoff game doesn't get better. Like, in terms of playoff atmosphere, the top 5 has to be Boston, OKC, LA, Toronto, and
Golden State.
Yeah, like Golden State.
Yeah.
So Miami's not coming into Boston winning 2 playoff games with your best player being Jimmy Butler. That's some LeBron. LeBron can't even do it. LeBron's never done that.
He struggled like in Boston. Yeah.
He struggled with rookie Tatum. Even in 20 that game we won on the road though. In 20 the Avery Bradley game. That game was in Cleveland when he hit a game winner.
That game, when he went off from 3, right?
Yeah, he hit a game winner. But overall, yeah, for me personally, I'm not gonna put an asterisk on the championship, only because everyone is dealing with the same circumstances. So with everyone dealing with the same circumstances, I feel like it's fair. Obviously, in terms of like the mental aspect, like guys like Paul George saying the bubble created caused mental health issues for him.
Yeah.
you can't really weight that because everyone is going to deal with being away from their family differently than others. So maybe you guys on Lakers are better equipped. Maybe you guys on Miami are better equipped to be away from their family, whereas guys on Clippers, like, they struggle with it more. So I can't weight that, but all I can say is that everyone is dealing with the same circumstances. So you just gotta go out and hoop.
That's where I agree. Like, everyone, like, Jamal Murray played in the same bubble as Pascal Siakam. Like, they're both in the same situation. So I'm not gonna say, like, use the bubble as an excuse to be like, oh no, Pascal is good, but then be like, oh no, so we shouldn't credit Jamal Murray for what he did then.
Yeah.
Like, he deserves all his credit, but then you can kind of allow Pascal at the same time, where it's kind of like, maybe it affected him.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I don't think, like, we should knock guys down to build others up because of the bubble. You could build guys up, but I don't think you should be knocking guys down. That's what.
Exactly. But then I just think this ring, like, LeBron's getting another ring right now. He's gonna get his 4th ring. I don't think this brings him. I still think Jordan's the GOAT because of this. It doesn't make like LeBron.
I think LeBron's the GOAT, but I can see why someone would still think Jordan's the GOAT after this.
I don't know. It's just so many weird things about this season, like this whole situation. It just doesn't feel right to be like a bubble championship is just gonna put him over the GOAT. Like that's just too much of a LeBron narrative. Like, you're just gonna give him too much there if you're gonna say that. Like,
there's some people who think like this is like the hardest championship ever won or something. Even LeBron said himself, but obviously he's gonna say that. Obviously,
if you're gonna win it, obviously you're gonna try to bring it up even more than it actually is, no matter what. So no, I just can't see this bringing LeBron up to that pedestal. Sure, it helps your legacy. Like, instead of looking at a 3-6 right now, you're gonna look at a 4-6. Which
I hope you know you're part of the 3-6 mafia. Like, you guys are just LeBron
I am
haters.
part of 3-6 mafia,
like,
but
you're just a LeBron hater, bro.
4-6 does look a little better. You know, I won't lie. But
all right, moving on though. A lot of teams failed in the bubble. Rockets failed. Clippers failed. Sixers failed. Milwaukee failed. Toronto didn't fail. Boston didn't fail. They just lost. Those 4 teams, those are the main 4 teams that really failed. Utah didn't really. Nah, they didn't really fail.
Utah?
Yeah, Utah.
No, Utah didn't fail. They lost to a higher seed.
Yeah, that's the higher seed, so they didn't really fail. And Indiana don't even cares regardless. No offense if there's an Indiana fan watching, but no one cares about you guys. Yeah, but mainly those 4 teams. From all those 4 teams, who do you think was the biggest failure this year?
It's easy.
Who?
The Philadelphia 76ers are the biggest bust of this season. I won't say the playoffs, because everyone knew they sucked by the time the playoffs came.
That is true. Yeah, the season they're more of a failure of the season than the playoffs. I agree with that.
But this season, I won't lie, they called me for like a week. When they signed Al Horford, I was like, damn, like Boston, like they lost their big that was holding Embiid. And I was like, for like not even a week, for like 2 days, they called me. I was like, maybe they'll cause some problems this year.
Yo, quick story. I'm a Celtics fan, if you guys don't know. When we lost Horford, this guy really came. I was in the car with him. We were talking. He's like, yo, I know you're sad. You guys lost Horford. You're gonna suck. Sixers are better than you guys. I was like, what are you even talking about? Al Horford. Okay, I'm not gonna say Al Horford's not good, because that's a lie. But as a Celtics fan, I seen him on the downswing of his career. So I told him I'm not really that mad about it. I didn't know how we were gonna replace him. I didn't know it was gonna be Dice. I thought honestly Robert Williams was gonna take a step forward and be the starting center this year. But I just knew we'd be fine without him. These guys like, no, you guys lost. Sixers better. Explain yourself, bro. Explain yourself.
Right. For 2 days, they got caught in the hype. I won't lie. Like, you know, it looked like they added a huge piece. Horford was good the year before. But then I just came to my senses. Ben Simmons, Al Horford, and Joel Embiid on the court at the same time. So who are they kicking it out to? Tobias Harris?
I guess
like,
that's what they thought.
I just thought to myself, I was like, this can't work.
Remember, the first thing I told you is that this is not the 1990s. You're not playing two bigs on the court.
Two bigs is going to work. It makes no sense to clog a paint when your point guard can't spread the floor. And, like, it makes no sense. They came into the season, they're like, all right, we got the Embiid stopper. But he stopped Embiid on Philly. Like, Embiid...
he was really... That's facts. He was an Embiid stopper on Philly as well. Because the thing about, like... Off the top of my head, another team that played two bigs was Lakers. But it's different because Anthony Davis can play on the perimeter.
Al Horford's shot went away. Like, he kind of had a shot year before, but it was not the same.
And even Miami. Miami used to play two bigs with Myers Leonard and Bam. But they stopped playing Myers Leonard because they realized it made them worse. Myers Leonard hasn't seen the court since. Is he even at the bubble? I don't even know. Is he there? Like
he's making the most noise on the bench, to be honest.
yeah. He's part of the bench mob. But other than that, in 2020, there's no reason to be playing two bigs.
No, and then like in Philly now, it's just weird because they're stuck. They paid Al Horford 4 years, $109 million. That's a hard contract to get rid of.
And the worst part is that's not the worst contract on the team.
Tobias Harris for this max 5-year, 180 deal. I don't know where you go from there. I think you gotta get. Well, they got Doc Rivers now. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting. For sure, I'll upgrade over Brett Brown. Brett Brown, you weren't it. Like, I don't know what you were doing with that team, but nah, we weren't it. Doc Rivers, he's for sure an upgrade. He's an overachiever on a worse team. But with the best teams he's had, like, he's kind of underachieved. But when his teams aren't that great, like, he's done something special. Like when he took Golden State to 6 with Lou Williams leading the way. Like, that was exciting to watch.
With next year, he's gonna go into the East next year with like the 5th best odds to win the conference, and that's exactly where he likes to be. He likes to be in that spot where there's not too much pressure. So I'm not gonna pick them, but next year comes, let's say a 4-5 matchup, Philly versus Toronto or Philly versus Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if Philly beat one of them because that's what Doc was known for. But then the second they beat one of those teams and you start thinking, oh, these guys are good, and then they see like a Boston or a Brooklyn or a Milwaukee second round, they will lose. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
100%. And then I still don't think it will work if Al Horford is there. I really feel like I'm hearing the rumor a lot that they're trying to get Buddy Hield and they're trying to get Al Horford to Sacramento. If they can pull that off somehow, I think they would have to give up Thibault for that to happen.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Because I don't think Sacramento is going to take on that contract without getting a piece that like Thibault's nice. Like, we want this kind of wing defender on our team, which I think he would fit pretty well with Sacramento.
You see, Buddy's even liking Instagram pictures of him in Sixers uniforms.
Yeah, he is.
Because he knows the fit's there.
The fit would be nice.
Ben Simmons is going to find him. Embiid, when he's in the post, he's going to kick it out to him. Then, even if he's not Buddy Hield's not the greatest defender, but Philly, their perimeter defense is good right now with Simmons and Josh Richardson.
No, it can for sure work.
So it could work.
Tobias goes to the 4, where like I feel like he's a lot better at the 4 than a 3.
That is something that really did snake him a lot this year. He's just playing out of position. They had everyone on their team playing the wrong position except like
Embiid,
yeah. Al Horford's better at the 5. Tobias is better at the 4. Those are natural positions. And then even in the bubble in the seeding games, they had Ben Simmons playing the 4. That's not his best position. Ben Simmons is a point guard.
He's just big.
He is a point guard. But for me, my biggest disappointment of the year, it's not even close. You know who I'm going to say. It's the Clippers. Come on. Before the year, people said they were going to win a title. Vegas gave them the best preseason odds to win a title. They said Kawhi and Paul George were the best wing duo since MJ and Scottie Pippen. They won 6 rings. Paul George is known as playoff P for bad reasons. There's no reason why you guys ever fell for the hype. I told this guy all year. I told all my friends all year. The Clippers are frauds. They had no rim protector. They had no playmaker. They had no ball handler. What did they have? They had Patrick Beverley. Like Westbrook said, he'd be tricking y'all. That's all he's doing. He's tricking y'all. He's just out there running. He's not doing nothing. Didn't even listen to the analytic team. The whole season they said, when you guys play Denver, you're not going to win with Trez on the court. You have to play Zubac at the 5. It's the only chance you have. In the series, they were the plus-minus minutes between Zubac and Trez on the court was substantial. And Doc Rivers just seen that and didn't care. That's why Steve Ballmer fired him.
That's exactly why he got fired. I just don't understand how you can see such a blaring, obvious problem, and you're choosing not to fix it. You just don't have to play Trez.
I don't even get it's like Trez had secrets on him. Because I understand he earned his spot in the rotation throughout the regular season.
He was 6th man of the year.
6th man of the year. But at some point, after you blow game 5, does nothing go off in your head okay, maybe I should stop? And then after you blow game 6, did nothing go off oh yeah, maybe I should stop? Then you're in a game 7, you still continue to play Trez? You just don't want to win.
If you're a good coach, coaching is all about adjustments. No matter what you make as a game plan to start the game, it's half the time it's not going to work because the other team's assuming your game plan, so they're going to try countering it. Your adjustments at halftime and what you can do after that is what wins you games. Doc Rivers made none.
No adjustments.
He had to go. 100%. Ballmer, it was funny. You even sent this to me. Ballmer, when he said Michael
MPG.
Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. was the key factor in beating them, and he wanted to draft MPJ in 2018, and they said, nah, he's injury prone.
The worst part about
he's undraftable.
The worst part about that is they initially they had 2 picks back to back. I think it was 12 and 13. They took Shai, which was a great pick, and then their next pick would have been MPJ if they listened to Ballmer. That would have been 2 bangers. And the fact that they traded away their whole young core for Paul George, They actually do need a guy on like MPG on their team right now. So like because Paul George acquire free agents this summer, like next summer.
If everything goes like loose, like they lose Kawhi, they lose George Paul. That's what I'm gonna call him these days right now because he doesn't deserve that full name right now. But they lose George Paul, they lose Kawhi. They're done.
Yeah, they're done. But if MPJ was there,
you have that bright spot.
Yeah, you have
can
hope.
build like. Maybe you can trade for some other guys somehow. Like you can bring in a couple pieces.
You even take like bad contracts just to like get some picks.
Surround some vets or like whatever.
So you could have done a lot of things.
No, and Clippers were a pretty big fill, but for me, the reason why I chose Philly over Clippers is because they're not done. Their next year is gonna be. I think they're gonna win the title next year. I still believe that the bubble is the reason why they lost this year. I think with no bubble, they still would have won the championship. They would have won the conference finals, beat LeBron James, and then they would have won the chip. I think the bubble screwed everything up for them.
My thing with the Clippers, I won't count them out. I think they are going to come back and be better next year. Credit to Colin Cowherd. He said something smart. He's the worst basketball analyst ever, but he did say one thing smart. He said if you look at the like past championship winners, you really are almost as good as your number 2 option. And with that being said, I don't know how much I trust Paul George. So Golden State coming back, you know I'm a Klay Thompson stan, so I might pick Golden State over Clippers next year.
But are you an Andrew Wiggins fan? Because Andrew Wiggins is going to play a big part in that too.
Yeah, but he's the 3rd best player. And Steve Kerr, whoever Clippers hire, Steve Kerr's probably going to run circles around him as a coach. So
Ty Lue?
Okay, I like Ty Lue.
Yeah, I know you like Ty Lue.
You would run circles. They had their matchups.
Hire.
You would run circles around Ty Lue. But moving on, speaking of MPJ and young players, who are your top 5 players under 25 you build a team around?
Top 5. So this is interesting now because it's like, do you want to build off a wing defender? Do you want to build off a point guard? Do you want to build off a center? My philosophy has always been like a wing 2-way player, like that's the best route to go. But under 25 right now, I look at the best players under 25. No matter what, like Tatum's probably the best 2-way wing player, but Luka Doncic is the best player. No, easily by far. Like, there's no comparison under 25. He's already a top 10 player in the NBA. Like, he's arguably, like, at the same level as, like, he's better than Dame. He's probably better than Jokic, maybe. Like, same level. You can't say anyone else to start a franchise with right now. He averaged 31, like, 10 and 9 against the Clippers, a wing defending team. People are like, what's Luka going to do against Morris, Kawhi, Paul George, Pat Beverly?
Yeah.
He averaged 31, 9, and 10 on 50% from the field and like 36 from 3. That was way better than what he shot from the regular season.
He can't shoot though.
36% from 3 that's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. But I'm like, yo, look, he hit
a game-winning 3-point shot.
Realistically, you can't leave Luka open. He's gonna make you pay.
Exactly.
But he does need to work on his shooting.
No, there's still a lot to work on. But he's a second-year player right now. He just finished his second year, and he was first team All NBA.
Yeah, he was. I'm a fan of Luka.
Yeah.
But under 25, there's one answer. There's only one right answer, and that is Jason Tatum. Tatum is the best player under 25. Okay, no. Let me rephrase that before people get mad. I'm not gonna tell you Tatum's the best player under 25 because it's pretty clear right now it's Luka. But to build around, the gap between Luka and Tatum isn't as big as people think it is. For one, Tatum's a 6'9" wing player. He's a 2-way player. The casuals don't know that. Tatum received 26 All-NBA defensive team votes. Tatum is reaching elite status on the defensive end of the court. Starting from February, the second half of the year of the regular season, February on, he averaged 28, 7, and 3 with a steal on the block while playing great defense. In the playoffs, he averaged 26, 10, and 5. He matched up against 2 of the top 8 defenses in the league in Miami and Boston and Miami and Toronto. And he still put up numbers. I know it's the bubble, but he went to a game 7 and willed the Boston Celtics to a W versus Toronto Raptors. He came out like a madman and got the W and took it, and he went back to his hotel room and he chilled. And he just got the W. He sent Toronto home. You're a Raptors fan, aren't you? He sent you home.
He had some help. Jaylen Brown played good that game too.
Yeah, he did.
And the one thing that right now, the difference, I think his system around him, like for Tatum, is like, it's really built well for him, like for success.
I don't think that, like, I'm not going to credit the system, but I'll credit the players around him.
Like that's what I mean, like the players, coaching. Porzingis was like a big pickup. Like him and Porzingis, they started off the season slow, but I was like, oh wow, like these guys starting to figure it out. Even in the playoffs, like Clippers struggle with Porzingis.
I think those two are easily the two best young duos in the league.
They have to be. But then like Porzingis got injured.
Jokic and Murray.
Porzingis got injured, and it's kind of like it threw off. Like Luka was doing that by himself for the last couple of games, and they still won the 6.
But in the like 6 quarters that Porzingis played against Clippers, he was playing well.
He went
Looking back now, like they probably maybe could have beat Clippers.
There's a high chance
after seeing Denver beat them, like
there's a high chance they could have.
They maybe could have beat Clippers if Porzingis was healthy.
But then see like after Luka, then it's pretty obvious. Like Tatum has to be my number 2 guy. Like I'm not going Ben Simmons. Like people who think Ben Simmons for me, like Tatum, like Simmons, like.
No,
it's not really close right now.
Even for me, like for me, my third guy on the list is Bam. I'm gonna get into that soon. But it goes like for me, it goes. If we're talking about best player, it goes Luka's here. Tatum's like right here. Luka's a little better. But the drop off from those two to the rest of the guys.
Like now you can play around with who you want. There's actually debate. So like after Tatum, then like for me, like, this is where it gets interesting. I want to say Donovan Mitchell almost because Donovan Mitchell. Since he's been a rookie, he's been like the leading scorer on the team. Like he's been their number 1 option.
He beat 2 All-Stars in the playoffs.
He beat 2 All-Stars in the playoffs. I don't know how his team wasn't able to help him against Denver this year. How they blew a 3-1 lead.
What did he finish averaging? Like 37?
Something like that. Like
something crazy.
He went insane. Like he's been consistent. He was an All-Star this year. He's only 24 years old. I really believe Donovan Mitchell has the intangibles. He's winning playoff games. The other guys, they're not really in the playoffs like him at this age.
Yeah, they're not.
He's winning playoff series. I really think like he can be someone to build around. Like he might be that guy.
That's not a bad answer, but it's funny because I don't even have Donovan Mitchell in my top 5. But my third guy on the list, the picking the third guy was a little hard because there's a few options. Like I had to think between Bam, Simmons, or Booker. But ultimately I went with Bam because shout out John Calipari. What he said was facts. Bam is where basketball's headed. The man's a point center. And unlike Jokic, who's also a point center, he defends. I'm not saying Bam's better than Jokic, but under 25, I'm taking Bam over all these other guys. After watching what he did to my Celtics, he's literally unstoppable. If you don't have a guy like Anthony Davis on your team,
can't stop him.
You can't like. There's nothing. You can't really scheme around stopping Bam because if you try to stop him from getting to the basket, he sees the court. He's gonna just kick it out.
His energy level is like that of a role player where it's like this high the whole game, and then like he still has the skills of like that superstar like potential where
he has like the skills of an all-star and plays as hard as like Marcus Smart.
Yeah, so
like just like gritty role player. He's literally a point center, 6'9". How much do we put? Like probably like 250.
Real talk, don't let Bam get a jump shot. Like he shows flashes occasionally where like he'll curl away from the defender and like he does that little teardrop like floater sometimes and like a little pull-up jumper and it goes in sometimes. He needs to work on it.
He low-key has that 14-footer.
Low-key.
And after that, I'm gonna go Ben Simmons because even though he can't shoot, he's elite at literally everything else in basketball. He's elite driving to the paint. He's elite passing the ball. He's elite at finishing. He's an elite defender. All NBA defense first team. So even though he can't shoot, what Ben Simmons is gonna struggle with until he gets a jumper, he's gonna struggle closing games on the offensive end. Like you could close a game playing good defense, creating havoc for the other team's offense. But in terms of closing a game and getting your team a bucket, Ben Simmons is gonna struggle with that. So that's why I had to put him below Bam. Because I watched Bam in the Eastern Conference Finals get clutch buckets versus Celtics down the stretch. 32. In game 6, yeah, I think it was even 34 maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But that's why I'm gonna take Bam over Simmons. And this one was so hard for me between Booker versus Simmons because even right now I low-key want to take Booker because Booker's a bucket. Like how Tyler Hero calls himself a bucket. Booker's the originator of a bucket. And in the playoffs, we haven't seen him in the playoff setting yet, but him going 8-0 in the bubble for Phoenix, that's technically the playoffs because every game for them was an elimination game. If they lost, they might as well just packed up and went home. They couldn't lose the game. The only way for them to even have a chance to go undefeated, and they did that behind Devin Booker. So Devin Booker and Ben Simmons is like a tie for me.
See, as he showed last week, I don't like LeBron James, but it's the same thing for Ben Simmons. I do not like Ben Simmons. My only problem with him right now...
You have respect for him, though.
I do respect. He's for sure talented. Like, I can see, like, the intangibles. Like, I see, like, why people like him so much. But every single guy that I want to put on my list, and, like, so far that we have, other than Simmons, I think you can put them onto any single team, and they'll work no matter what.
That is true.
Ben Simmons, look at his team right now. It's not working because him and Embiid, like, there's something off there. Like,
but it's not working to an extent because being a 2-time All-Star and making a defensive first team, something's working.
No. Like Simmons, he's the only guy I feel like you can't put on any team in the NBA and it'll for sure work. Like he still be good, but I just don't see it working with every single team. Like there's gonna be some problems there. Like even on the Raptors, like I don't think him and Siakam could work really well together. Like it just wouldn't make sense to me.
Nick Nurse would have fun scheming.
You would have fun scheming. Defensively would be fun, but offensively, like there's some problems there. I just can't see it working. Where if you had Tatum and Siakam, like man, like
getting a bucket anyway.
Like Donovan Mitchell, Siakam, I see that working. So for me, after this point, for my fourth guy, I would go Devin Booker, because as you said, he's the
who's your third?
Third is Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
So after I'd go Devin Booker. He just hadn't had the best circumstances surrounding him, but he showed in the important games that he's the most 8 important games of his career so far, he's undefeated.
Yeah, that really was like
so,
with all the pressure on him. That was the only chance they had.
Only chance.
Win out, and they did it.
So like I feel like if that's not impressive, I don't know what it is. He's my number 4 guy.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So yeah, that's on my list. Tatum, Luka, Bam, Simmons, Booker, Simmons, tie can't really go, but. For the guys that didn't make it, I'm gonna give it some quick shouts to Mitchell. Like he talked about Mitchell and Trae Young. Neither of us talked about Trae Young, but Trae Young, just learn to guard like someone. Like just pick one person in the league that you can guard, and you would be on my list. Or some of these guys are gonna graduate from this list. Like how old is Ben Simmons and Booker? They're probably gonna graduate.
But Booker's 24 right now, right? So he's gone in 2 years.
Yeah. So Trae Young, your time's coming. No worry. All right, switching gears to NFL. Before we get into this week's match, we gotta recap what happened. I don't want to because I'm a Ravens fan. My boy Lamar, man. Lamar, bro. 97 yards, man. You're a quarterback, bro. You can't wake up, go to the bank, and throw for 97 yards. It's not going to get it done. You didn't even hit 3 digits. He's a quarterback.
Now I
don't get... If we're going to lose, let us lose because Lamar dropped like 50. I mean, no, because Mahomes dropped 50. You couldn't even keep any sort of pace with him because one of our touchdowns wasn't even from you. It was from Devin Duvernay. It was a special teams touchdown. Man, I'm still mad about that.
When the season started, the whole league circled this matchup. They're like, the Ravens got better, defending Super Bowl champs. I think Ravens, like a lot of people had Ravens winning the Super Bowl this year.
I do. I still do, though.
I still do, too. But then put on that performance... It's like, damn, like that was rough. I do partially blame the defense because that first half, they could not keep Mahomes off the field. And I think a lot of it is to do that they came with the mindset that we're going to be aggressive. We're going to blitz, make Mahomes uncomfortable. The Andy Reid's just like, all right, keep blitzing. We're just going to do misdirection. We're going to think you're going this way. You guys are going to send all your guys that way, and then we're just going to throw it this other way.
Mahomes is even the best quarterback against the blitz in the league.
He's the best quarterback. And there was no pressure on, like there was pressure getting there, and the second it would get there, the ball's out of his hands, and like it's going the completely opposite way. That Anthony Sherman touchdown, that just pass, it was the easiest walk-in for him. Like that was probably the easiest touchdown he's gonna get. Easy. The Eric Fisher, the old lineman, like, that was all misdirection. That was a nice play call. It was a really nice play call, and that's what they were doing all game long.
What I don't like is the defense. Wink Martindale, like I don't even know how I feel about you as a defense coordinator, to be honest. But everything you tried didn't work. You came up with the cover 0, didn't work. You switched to cover 3, didn't work. You tried playing cover 2, you tried man, you tried everything. Like, you just couldn't stop him. And the one time where it looked like we had a little bit of life, when the score was 27-20, I was hoping, I was praying, just get a stop, please. And you guys couldn't do it. You guys don't respect us enough as fans to just at least let us think this is a game. Would you have not been happy if we at least got to stop there? We had the ball in our hands with a chance to tie it. Like, it would make me feel like, okay, this is a competition. Now I wake up every single day this week and tell myself, are we ever gonna beat the Chiefs with Mahomes? At this point, we have to hope Mahomes just like retires and decides to be like an activist or something. Because the way it looks right now, as long as he's playing football, we're not making it to the Super Bowl.
I'll say this though, if we're not beating Mahomes, I don't think anybody in the NFL is beating Mahomes.
See, but Belichick has it figured out a little bit with that guy.
I will say this as well. I'd way rather lose right now because we're going to see them in the playoffs again.
Yeah, we're going to see them again, but...
So, I want this game to be remembered where I think we're going to win. I think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. And I think we're going to see the conference champion. And it's going to be a shootout. I think Lamar is never doing that 97 yards again.
I hope so. But speaking of previewing the AFC... That game made me think about it and let me think about it a bit, because coming to the season, initially I thought it was a 2-team race in the AFC between Chiefs and Ravens. But with the way we got disrespected, do you think that Patriots, Steelers, or Bills are a threat to Ravens or even possibly Chiefs?
No.
You don't think any of them?
So I think the Bills might be have the best chance because they're legit both ways completely almost. Because if Josh Allen is legit, like you don't really have a hole in your offense or defense.
Dude, 3 weeks their defense hasn't been good though. But Buffalo's known, like Sean McDermott, he has those guys playing good defense. But week 1 they gave Jets. We'll just forget week 1. But week 2 they played Miami. They gave up 28 points.
Dolphins came back, but it was a fake comeback at the same time.
But like 21 of those points were legit that they gave up to the Dolphins. And then they gave up 32 to the Rams. And in the second half they gave up like 30 or like 24 or something like that.
I don't know what the problem is, Bills, but it's like you guys are getting too early of a lead. And I think the defense starts playing a little cushion defense.
Yeah, they do. They start playing that soft cover 3.
But that's an aggressive defense. They got some ballers on that defense.
They have a good secondary. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Trey White. Josh Norman's there, but he's hurt right now.
That second corner is a little weak.
Yeah.
But they're pretty good everywhere else. I really think they just got to keep that aggressiveness. Like, who cares if you put 40 on the team? Like stop them. Like, you know, like don't.
You know what it is? Buffalo hasn't had a good offense since Jim Kelly.
So they're having fun.
They're having fun. They finally have a good offense, and like they're just having fun. That's really
they don't know what to do. This is the first time they're getting big leads in the first half, and they're like, we don't know what to do anymore. Like they're lost. But
the last like 6 years, the defense felt if we didn't make a play tonight, we weren't winning.
Yeah,
things are starting to change in Buffalo.
Diggs makes that difference.
Look. Take him off Vikings, their offense is struggling. Put him on Buffalo, their offense is thriving. That's why he's a top 8 receiver. I say it. That's not the debate right now, but just know Stephon Diggs top 8 receiver.
For me, Steelers, I just don't trust the Big Ben and like anymore. I know Big Ben, he's a vet. He's been there. He's done that. But I feel like the last couple of years, late in games, he makes that mistake almost, and like where it's kind of cost you. That same Phillip Rivers effect, where it's like I don't know if I want to trust this guy anymore at this point. Their defense is legit, but their secondary hasn't been that great overall all year so far either. They've been struggling.
They haven't seen actual legit. Actually, no, they've seen Deshaun Watson, but like overall, they haven't seen quality teams yet. That's why I was looking forward to this week, but unfortunately, COVID canceled the game. They were gonna get their first real matchup of the year.
Aren't the teams they played 0-9?
Yeah, I don't think any of them won a game. Yeah, they played Giants, Texans, and
Jets.
Broncos.
No, Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos are playing. They're up right now. They're up 8. But yeah, I want to see Steelers play Titans. That would have been a real test for them. I honestly think they would have lost. But now we're not gonna see the game. Now when it's played in like week 8 or whatever, we'll see what happens. But I even forgot to add Tennessee. Tennessee should be here. They're 3-0. And they're coming off an AFC Championship appearance.
Where they beat the Ravens.
Yeah, they beat the Ravens to get there. So I don't even know how I forgot them. I would say, does Tennessee change anything for you? Or?
No, I think Tennessee. My only problem with Tennessee is that last year they're the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
And I don't think the new kid on the block is a surprise anymore. And I think everyone's ready for them.
Yeah, no one's taking the Tennessee lightly anymore.
They know they're legit. They know that running game's scary. And I think they're more prepared for it now.
Yeah.
And like in the last season, the Patriots, for me, the Patriots, man, like Cam, like he's putting that work. Cam looks good. But they lost so many guys to just sitting out, and just overall, that team's just not the same from last year.
See, but I was thinking about it, like maybe a Patriots fan might disagree because they put more stock into their own players. But I was going through the opt-outs that they had. They had 8, and only 2 really stood out to me. And it was Hightower and Marcus Cannon, the O-lineman. Because also Patrick Chung he's not playing, but Adrian Phillips has been one of their best players so far this year. So that may have been a blessing in disguise.
I think Marquise Lee was pretty big.
Yeah, they definitely need help. They need depth there. If anything, they need depth there. So yeah, he could have helped.
But like, I just don't see them doing this for a whole season. Cam isn't taking a beating. Cam is running the ball a lot, and he's their goal line back basically. And it's just, I don't know if he's gonna last the whole season. If he lasts the whole season, it'll be fun to see what he can do in the playoffs.
But even speaking of the Patriots, because we're gonna get into a preview of that matchup this week because they have a big matchup versus Chiefs. Travis Kelce was talking about his interview. I watched it earlier this morning. He said that on film they look just as good as they looked the past 3 years, or maybe if not, maybe even better. And it got me thinking, like, do you think Patriots stand any chance in this game on Sunday?
They for sure stand a chance. Belichick, no matter what with Belichick, you stand a chance.
Yeah. He's
the best coach in the NFL. Like, he's proven it. He's shown it from time to time. And it's not like the main loss of the season was Tom Brady, but Cam low-key is better than Tom Brady right now.
Yo, on the lowest of keys. I don't even think it's low key. Like, just because some people think Brady's washed.
A lot of people think
Brady's washed. So Cam and Brady right now is either they're the same or like if anything, maybe Brady's a little better, maybe Cam's a little better. Just whatever you want to pick. But talking about the matchup, honestly, I want to pick Patriots so bad, but after seeing what Chiefs did to my Ravens, I'm having a tough time.
No, Chiefs are winning the game. I just you just said, do they have a chance? They have a chance, but no.
What I'm gonna say though, this is not one of my picks. Don't go bet on it, but I'm liking that Patriots +7. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm liking that Patriots +7. I'm giving Patriots a real shot to win that game on Sunday. A real shot. And how Cowboys Browns is the other big matchup of the week. Cowboys need
it's
that.
It's not
win.
A big matchup. It's just a fun matchup.
No.
The two teams that get talked about a lot for overhype every year. You say when the Browns make these offseason moves, the Cowboys make these draft moves. I think it's gonna be a Cowboys outing where they're just gonna. The Browns defense, like their secondary, is depleted.
Stinks.
And the Cowboys offense, Cooper, Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, my guy, and then with Zeke.
Even Dalton Schultz looks like a real tight end.
That's a legit offense. They're going to put up points. I just don't think the Browns can keep up.
Cowboys fans, I know you guys don't like me, but I'm going to do you guys one solid right now. I'm picking you guys to win this week. Please don't let me down because I'm in a win-win situation. You guys lose, I'm going to come on here and make fun of you. You guys win, we're going to talk about it later, but I'm betting on you because I'm going to make money. So Cowboys, the ball's in your court. You're even at home, man. I know there's no... And you guys have fans too. There's no excuse for Cowboys to lose this game. You're better than the Browns. Browns aren't even good. The two teams they beat was Washington and Cincinnati. The two teams are predicted to have the worst record this year.
Cincinnati, they struggle to beat.
They barely beat them. And Dak Prescott's supposed to be better than Joe Burrow, so with better weapons. And Joe Burrow put up 30.
No, the Cowboys should win this game. I will say that Nick Chubb is a problem. And like the Cowboys defense, like
he might be the best runner of football in the league. Like just purely running in between the tackles, he might be the best at that.
But yeah, now Cowboys defense, they should have enough firepower to give their not let them score every single time. The offense probably is gonna score every single time.
Yeah, I don't even think it's gonna be like an interesting game, to be honest.
No,
I think Cowboys win. I think Cowboys win pretty comfortably. Moving on to our last match that we picked, we found it pretty interesting only because of the situation. I don't think most NFL fans are really looking forward to this or circling it on their calendar. But Vikings versus Texans, two teams that are dying. They're literally dying, gasping for water. And both of them made the playoffs last year, which is funny. And both of them won a playoff game last year. And they're having like just disaster seasons. Each of them, and it's funny because both of these teams are the teams that decided to trade away their superstar wide receiver. And both of them it looks like they're suffering from it.
They're looking hurt, both teams right now.
Both 0-3.
The Vikings, I'll say this. Your offense hasn't been the best. So it's like...
They showed life last week.
But they showed life last week, yeah. Against a pretty good team. Yeah. That defense it's the worst in the NFL, I think.
It's terrible.
They're bad.
They gave up 43 to Green Bay.
That secondary is bad.
Tennessee got into Vikings territory every single time they touched the ball, I'm pretty sure. Almost every single time they touched the ball, they got into the Vikings territory.
Justin Jefferson had a career day. Like, he might have had his best game of his career that he'll ever have. 7 catches, 175 yards, and 1 touchdown, and they still lost. Like, the offense can't do much more than what they did. That defense, I don't know. That's why I'm going to give the Texans advantage here, because I just tend to see Vikings defense slowing down Deshaun.
My prediction here, if this happens, you heard it here first. This game's ending in a tie. I'm gonna be like the first person to predict a tie. I have this game ending in a tie. And you wanna know why? No reason at all, other than that's gonna be the most hilarious thing ever. This game ends in a tie. 2 0-3 teams, both dying, fighting, need the W as bad as they can get it. It ends in a tie.
They're both going into the week thinking, one of us is coming out with the win.
100%, one of us gotta win. And it just ends in a tie, so I'm pulling for a tie right now. But if you want to be normal, if you sort of ask me to pick one person to win, one team to win, I'm going to pick Vikings just because they showed me more than Texas so far. Vikings have shown me some life. They put up 30 against Tennessee last week. I even had Kirk Cousins on my FanDuel lineup. He balled. So hopefully they can keep the momentum going and Texans aren't some vaunted defense they're going up against. All right. We're back in the final segment of the day with our betting picks. Here to make you some money. I didn't have the greatest week last week for you guys. I went 1-2 on the picks. I really did get snaked though, because Texans were up 14 points at one point, and they blew it. They couldn't even cover the 4. Falcons were up 16 and a half. Fire Dan Quinn, please. I'm done with that. I'm not. I'm this show. I promise. I am not talking about Falcons again until Dan Quinn is unemployed. I'm just done talking about them. So for me, I have a can't lose parlay for you guys this weekend. Can't lose. I wish I brought a lock with me. Can't lose 100%. You guys want money? If you want money, put money on this can't lose parlay. I'm going with Cowboys money line, Arizona money line, Saints money line. All 3 of these teams are good football teams who are coming off a loss. I have all of them winning comfortably in their games. I'm putting an undisclosed amount of money, an unnecessary amount of money on this parlay. You decide what you want to put, but this is a winner for me. This is a guaranteed winner.
So you're calling it a max play?
Max play. I can't even give you a better play than this.
All right, so I'm gonna ride with you there. I'll tell you this week then if you're gonna be that confident. For me, I'm gonna start off with my first spread, which I like. You added Arizona money line, Arizona -3 over Carolina. Kyler Murray is not throwing 3 interceptions in a game again.
And they still had a chance to win.
And they should have won that game almost. They had the opportunity.
He had Andy Isabella open on 4th down. He just didn't see him.
It was unlucky. Carolina, who did they lose to last week? It was a bad loss.
No, they won. They beat Chargers.
Oh, they beat Carolina beat the Chargers, but Chargers suck.
And another thing I like about my can't lose parlay is every team that they're versing, they're feeling good coming off a win. Lions, they won a game they probably weren't supposed to win against Arizona. Carolina, they won a game they weren't supposed to win against the Chargers. And Browns, they were supposed to win, but yeah, they won a game. And the best time to bet against the Browns is when they're feeling good about themselves. So
always. So then this is my lock of the week, and I'm choosing the team I chose last week again. The team that came clutch for me against the Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears. I'm not even gonna say take the spread. It's plus 2.5. Money line against the Colts. Phillip Rivers, I will never trust that guy in my life. That guy has screwed me over so many times that I can't even count anymore.
Yo, but their defense is looking crazy.
Their defense is looking good. But Nick Foles is a starter now. Nick Foles, you know what they call him. I'm not going to say it.
BD Nick.
BD Nick, right?
BD Nick.
I'm not going to say it, but he's a baller. And it doesn't matter who he's playing, that guy's not scared of nothing. And that offense is looking a little bit dangerous. And you know the Bears' defense are pretty solid. Yeah. So I think money line against the Colts, Phillip Rivers, I'm not going to guarantee it. But you heard it here first. He's throwing a pick 6 that game.
That's not even that big of a guarantee. He's known for that. But me, and other than the can't lose parlay, I'm also telling you, put some money on Cowboys minus 4.5. I know it. You're like, come on, Mike. How are you talking about Cowboys so much? Aren't you a Cowboys hater? But there's no relationships when it comes to making money. That's the thing. Cowboys are winning this week, so put money on the spread. Put money on the minus 4.5. And my other pick, this one's a little risky. But I like it. I'm a sprinkle on this one. It's not a max play by no means. I'm gonna sprinkle a little money on this. Raiders +3 or take Raiders outright. The Bills have looked good, but Josh Allen, he's carrying my fantasy team right now. I love him. Like, he's looking like a potential league MVP. But the Bills are on like an all-time high. They're on an all-time high. The Raiders, after being on a high, took a tough loss in New England. The Raiders offense can put up points. I promise you that. And the way it's looking right now, this Bills defense will let you put up points if you can put up points. So I think Raiders are gonna catch Bills lacking a little bit, and they're gonna get a pretty surprising win. So I'm gonna take the Raiders +3.
All right, I'm gonna make my last pick right now too. Then Ravens -14.
That's too much chalk, man. You're just chalking it up.
This was the Ravens' worst loss in a long time. I feel like. This was actually maybe Titans. It wasn't that long ago. But this was a bad loss. And they're going up against a bad team. They're going to want their revenge. -14 is a big number. They're putting up 50.
They're going to be ready to kill.
They're going for the kill. They want their mojo back. Big trust. They want that mojo back now, right? You're going to hear that tomorrow or Sunday. I promise you that.
You're going to be hearing a lot of JK in the fourth quarter when we're up like 40. So, he's just going to be JK running the ball up.
So -14 is a big number, but sometimes when that team's just that good, you got to go for it.
Yeah, I just don't take plays that big, like spreads that big, because it's the NFL. It should be competitive. But I do like the pick though, -14. I think we're going to cover. I think we're going to destroy them. We should after that embarrassment. Like, yo, come on, 8. Like, come on, bro.
He's putting up 400 yards all purpose.
Because we lost to Kansas City, the next 2 times we see Pittsburgh, you guys got to win. Like both of them. I was gonna accept one loss to Pittsburgh because of the rivalry, but now they lost to Chiefs. Nah, you gotta win both matchups. But that's it for the day. Make sure you put money on both of our picks, or if you have to pick one, pick mine because mine are gonna win. I'm more trustworthy than his picks. So that's it for today. Make sure you bet responsibly, and make sure you watch next week. See you guys soon.